Compassion's house is built where others dare to give shelter from the storm.
It's a child's worst nightmare, a world blown apart by a parent's drug or alcohol addiction, the shattering violence of abuse, a childhood robbed by poverty, and then the ripping at the seams that brings safety at the price of heartbreak. The child is taken into foster care, alone and afraid.
It's almost like a kidnapping. The state obviously is doing what they're charged to do, but in the parents' heart and in the children's heart, this tearing apart of their family structure is incredibly traumatic.
What I've seen across the nation, across the state, and even across our community, we've seen an increase in domestic violence. I think anytime that you can put an effort together to keep the family element together, then everybody is a winner. And that's the service that Compassionate House does here in this community. Everybody wins.
When families are torn apart, Compassionate House steps in to help bring the families back together.
Joyce, a mother of two, had lost all sight of hope when she was referred to Compassion House.
I was in a real bad relationship and alcoholic, and pretty much I couldn't get on my own 2 feet. I kept running back to the kids' dad and the drinking. It just escalated.
Joyce's story is real. It's a story that's repeated over and over again in North Georgia's communities. It affects more than her children. It affects the entire extended family, from grandparents to cousins. And without help, the impact spreads and begins to erode the fabric of the community. At that point, the state gives parents a long list of things they need to do to earn the right to be parents again, from anger management classes to addiction recovery. But most people don't have access to the resources they need to get that help. And no one understands what the families are up against better than Scott Roden, director of Compassion House.
And then you have a mother who has no work skills. She's not been in the workforce before. She's been codependent with this man who's now in prison. Well, she is working to get her children back, but she doesn't have the job skills. She doesn't have the life skills to raise these children or to get her children back. And so our job is to come alongside these men or the women and say, you can do it. Let us help you. Let us teach you what it is to be a good parent. When I see families who are able to get their children back home with them again, I just feel such joy. I see restoration, and I see people who had no hope being filled with hope.
Hope is in large supply at Compassion House, where families can be slowly reunited through mentoring, parenting, and relationship classes, supervised visitation, marriage enrichment classes, grief and loss recovery, family team meetings, life and job skills training, and transportation if needed. There's a strong focus on dignity, access for all, and compassion.
Compassion House offers the ability to learn life skills to cope in your marriage, with your children, in crises that you face along the way that you were not able to pick up earlier in your life.
They reconnect families, and then they mentor those families with the life skills necessary to sustain an effective home life, which gives the children an opportunity to be successful in school and become productive citizens.
They cheer people on, and I think everybody needs a cheerleader, someone who just believes in them.
Compassion House actually cared. That would be what I'd say.
To be able to come to a place and not be beat down but be built up, and to look past your failures and wrong choices, and to realize there's something in you that's worth restoring, and you can be more than you could ever think.
I think they see themselves in our eyes.
Since its founding, Compassion House has helped state agencies raise the rate of families reunited in North Georgia from 25% to 40%. Like Keisha, who was recently reunited with her mother after almost 6 years in foster care.
They helped me by getting my mom and me to have visitations and stuff. And we get to see each other, we give gifts to each other.
Well, Compassion House helped us get back together, so I know they can help a bunch of other kids and families get back together.
And Chrissy, who had lost her son to drug addiction.
I found that I wasn't alone. It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
And Carolyn, who worked to get her grandson Brendan out of foster care.
There was a picture of Brendan on the dresser. Every night before I went to bed, I promised him that I would get him back. I would not stop till he was home where he needed to be. Compassion House was just absolutely wonderful.
For Brandy, who grew up in foster care herself and has found the strength to break that cycle by utilizing nearly all of the services offered by Compassion House.
Because of Compassion House, I didn't have a New Year's resolution, I had a new life resolution.
For Lindsay, who has found a new life.
Compassion House is bringing people out of darkness into the light.
And for Joyce, who has worked so hard to come so far.
It was amazing how much Compassion House and Linda helped me. It really is, because I don't think I'd have made it without them.
Joyce's mentor, Linda Clark, and the others who mentor at Compassion House have a passion for helping broken people and broken families.
We come through experiences ourselves. We come through life experiences ourselves, and so we need to be able, that if we've come through, to show someone else that they can come through. Show them that there is a way, that there is hope.
Shannon Kunkel's life experience included a stint in a foster home when she was a child.
And so I see families come in here beaten down, broken, and leave, and their children go home, and I feel blessed. I feel like I learned something from them every day. They want to be better. They want to strive to be something that they know that they can be, that has always been in them.
I love being a mentor at Compassion House. I think it's about coming alongside of women and just laughing with them, crying with them, sharing each other's life.
In so many different ways, Compassion House ministers to the whole person, to the parent and to the child. And the community really needs that, because when the families get back together, we want them to get back together right. And Compassion House can offer that.
The department fully supports the work of the Compassion House, and as a case manager, I distinctly see the difference between families that are involved with Compassion House and those that are not. And we often have feedback to the positive support that our clients feel from the Compassion House staff.
It bridges that gap between the state system and families through the Compassion House's education programs, their mentoring programs. They give the families opportunity to re-enter the society in a way that's positive and productive in our community.
Compassion House does an absolutely wonderful job of combining their heart of compassion with their resource skills to repair broken families. As a result, we have a healthier community.
Compassion House is now a victim of its own success. This small building, generously provided by the Board of Education, can no longer hold the large numbers of parents and children seeking hope inside its doors. And the area outside the building offers no place for children and parents to enjoy supervised visitation outdoors. These plans are the hope of Compassion House for the future. The playgrounds and green spaces for visitation can become a reality, and Compassion House can move to a larger, friendlier home if they are able to raise the funds with community support, starting with a brick campaign.
We see lives changing every day in what's taking place, and so this is about investing in something that's successful.
Compassion House can't do this alone. We need your help. In order for Compassion House to be effective in the community, we have to spread the word of the good work that's being done here.
The transformation of individuals, transformation of families, and transformation of a community. That is the mission of Compassion House.
Shelter from the storm, healing from the harm, a place where judgment has found mercy for second chances, where the heart of a child dances, where the heart of a child dances, where the heart of a child dances. Compassion.